What's going on YouTube? HiImSenpai if you ain't already knew that. And today I'm just going to be overviewing some of my investment accounts to give you guys a glimpse into the life of a regular guy who's not a Wall Street genius, just a person with a laptop and a dream, a little bit of common sense, and a little bit of cash that's trying to make sense of all these numbers on the screen. I want to show y'all a move that I've made with one of my altcoins, one of my crypto coins, which is called Texit Coin, which I think can be a good strategy long term.
And I want to disclaim that I am not a financial advisor. I am not offering financial advice or financial services. This is all purely educational. These accounts are all mine.
So allow me to be your crash test dummy as far as playing with money in this market. Without further ado, let me go ahead and explain what this first screen is right here. This is a special crypto that I'm involved with. It is called Texit Coin. Basically, it's a cryptocurrency altcoin that is currently being mined only in Texas. Another nice feature about this coin is that it's crowdsourced, and the max that any one person or entity can have is 9 mines. So just to give a very simple example of what a mine is, let's use apple trees as an example. Currently, when you buy your crypto, you are buying the apples that fall from the apple tree. Bitcoin, for example, we just saw in the news that guy just bought 4,000 Bitcoin. At this point, as far as Bitcoin's life cycle, it's very hard to become a Bitcoin miner. So all that's out in the world available pretty much are just the apples. What Texit has offered, or is still offering, is the chance to purchase a tree. And so what I'll show you guys on my mobile app. Okay, boom. I have generated 704 Texit coin since becoming a miner in March. And it was actually more than that, but the purpose of this video is to show you what I actually did with some of that Texit coin. This is my DexTrade account. So DexTrade is one of those platforms you can buy, sell crypto. You'll see a lot of smaller altcoins on these types of platforms. The main two things we're going to be focusing on right here is the Texit and USD Tether. And I'm not going to be explaining what all of these things are. I might leave a word bank or something up here in the corner so y'all can go back and do some research, because at the end of the day, you do have to do your own research. I'm just showing you guys moves that I'm making that might even be mistakes, in hopes that I can learn from it and whoever watches this can learn from it as well. So always do your own research. So what I did and what I realized, okay, because at the moment the Texit coin is not, it's not a powerhouse coin yet, right? Until it's available on like the bigger platforms like Coinbase and Binance, it's not gonna be very readily able to trade and convert, right? The good thing about DexTrade is that it allows you, if you look at all these pairings over here, you can simply convert most of your crypto to USDT, Ethereum, and even Bitcoin. You could like do a direct swap, like Ethereum to Bitcoin. So any of these like mini pairs that they have, you could make that swap. And so I'm looking through this platform and I'm like, well, first I saw, let me see, TXC. First I saw this pair. It was like Texit coin to USDT, right? And so I started looking into what USD Tether is and its uses. And then I was like, okay, well maybe since I can't immediately gain value from the Texit coin at the moment, the value from Texit coin comes from holding it. So the more coins that you have available, that's kind of where your market power is. because once the price starts getting dropped up, you sitting on 10,000 Texit coin, everybody wants it. Now you playing the game for real. And again, when you purchase a mine up to 9 for any individual, up to 9 mines, you're still producing these coins. And so what I did was I took 77 of my Texit coins and and now remember, they're valued at $1.02 right now. So I took 77 of my $77 worth of Texit coin, and I simply just exchanged it for a USD tether. There was a small transaction fee, so I left away with 76, which in the crypto world, that's fine. You'll make that up in a day or two, depending on how well the markets go. And that step one was actually getting the USD tether, because what I realized is that you can do something interesting. So now we're gonna our way to Coinbase, right? And this is my Coinbase overview. I got $209 of Bitcoin to the moon, baby. But this is why we're here today, this USDC. So I'm gonna show y'all something. As you see right here, it says my lifetime earnings from USDC APY interest has been 98 cents so far. Now, I accumulated 98 cents of interest because I had like $4 sitting in here, right? So I noticed this, and they said you can earn 4.1% APY just holding your USDC, and this USDC is 1-to-1 with the United States dollar. You can withdraw anytime. You probably know where this is heading. I'm thinking, well, what if I can take some of that Texit and convert it into USDC and just allow that to compound on itself, since virtually whatever coins I just deposited and converted, I'm gonna make those back anyway. So it's kind of like they're working double time. Maybe I'm just a little confused. Maybe I'm thinking stupid. But what I did was I took the USDC, and now the thing was, Coinbase had a crazy fee. They wanted 15 of the coins off rip. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a static amount, meaning that if I transfer more USDT, I don't think that fee raises. But I'll have to see on my next purchase, because I'm gonna make a bigger purchase next time to see if that fee still applies, or if it is in fact like based on the total amount. Because if it's flat, then that 15 is gonna be nothing once I actually like start making bigger deposits. But for this purchase, I was like, God damn. So I had to just eat that. We're gonna charge that to the game, because again, I'm gonna end up generating more of the Texit coin anyway. So we're just gonna see how this rolls. This is all experimental at this point. So what I ended up being able to actually deposit was 60.98. And so that's the move in itself. The move is to take one coin, transfer it into cash, and let that cash accrue interest. Now, the reason all of this is interesting, because when you think about the long game and what the point of investing is, right? The point is to let your money compound on itself so that it in turn makes more money. When you keep your money in a savings account and they say you get 1% back, that's not really feasible for investing, simply because the rate of return is not beating anything. You're just letting them use your money for free. And so I believe that this Coinbase move could be beneficial in that hey, you just sit aside a certain amount of money, treat that as a savings account, and you just let it roll. So what I did was I came over to ChatGPT and I asked it the following prompt. Using Coinbase as a trading platform, they have a feature where if you hold USDC in the wallet that you can earn 4.1% APY on the cash. If I currently hold $71, how much would I accrue in 1 year based on that, right? So what I would accrue after a full year is $2.93. Now I know it's small, but stay with me. So now I'm interested. Okay, if that'll make me $2, almost $3, how much USDC would I need if I wanted to make $20 a year? All right, so $20, it just made $20 for you having that money sitting there, allowing the platform to use it and invest with it, so on and so forth. So in order to make $20 a year interest, I would need to have $487.80. All right, not bad. I know it's still small. You're like, damn, you gotta have 480 to make 20. But this is where it gets better. Watch this. Okay, based on these calculations, let's say I wanted this account to accrue $100 a year in just interest. And if I was to hold on to that investment for 18 years, assuming that it just stays at 4.1, how much extra cash would it accrue? All right. So ultimately, I would need to invest $2,439 initially, and that's to make the $100 for that first year. But then after, let me see, boom, 18 years. After about an 18-year period, it would double. It would just about double. It would turn into 5,115. All right. Now, again, this is where ChatGPT is the GOAT, because you can start to ask those longevity questions so that you can plan and move according to that. So since the account would basically double, my next question is, how much of an initial investment do I need to make to reach 10,000 accrued over 18 years? So how much do I need to start with to get to $10,000 of accrued interest in the span of 18 years? I'm trying to make 10 bands in 18 years of money just sitting there. And what it came down to is I would need to make an initial investment of $4,768, assuming that it stays at 4.1%, right? And that would make me an additional 10. So it will go from 4,000 to 14,000 roughly in 18 years. Hey, that's not bad for money that's just sitting there. You know, you treat it as another savings account. In 18 years, your son, your nephew, your niece, your little cousin got 14 bands that, you know, they could use for college, they could use for a business, that you could use for anything. And I don't think that's a bad idea as far as trying to build a portfolio and compound your money. The main thing I have to figure out is, do I think Coinbase will be viable for the next 18 years? I think that's a very important question, especially since with USDC, you kind of don't want it sitting in a cold wallet. You kind of want it on the market so that it actually keeps generating that interest. The next question is trying to figure out that fee. That Coinbase fee was correct. I was thinking that DexTrade was going to have the big fee to try to make the conversion. And no, Coinbase want they coins, boy, golly. So if it's 15 flat, that's good. That just means I have to make big deposits so that it doesn't really affect me like a smaller deposit would. 15 flat, then we green. The last thing that I probably would do is just continue to research. I already got the money in the market, so might as well play around with it, might as well use it. And if you have $500 to $1,000 laying around, like truly laying around, that you don't need it for any emergency funds or anything like that, go ahead and put it in the market. Most people tell you put in the S&P 500 and just let it sit. That's actually what is going to be my next move with my Roth IRA. I won't show that this video, but in the next go around, I'll break down my Roth IRA and I'll probably make a trade live so y'all can see it in action, how it works. Yeah, that's where we're going to end it. Thank you so much for your time and your attention from watching this video. I hope that you learned something, and if you didn't, then you was not paying attention and you need to run it back immediately. All right. Hey, we all trying to figure out this new world that we coming into with all this digital money and all this stuff floating around. So hey, if you're not in a position or just don't have the knowledge to start jumping into this thing, let me be your guide and you can learn from me. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.